Welcome, Jason, to the launch video for Personal Finance. I was wondering if you could please introduce yourself to our audience and tell us a little bit about why you wrote your book, who it's for, and what it's about.
Sure. So I'm Jason Anderson. I teach on faculty at the University of Kansas. I'm in the business school, and I teach personal finance, which is a large lecture hall class at KU. And the previous book, this is my first term teaching it. The previous book was from a big brand name publisher, very expensive. It was about $150 per student. And I wanted to keep costs low. So I traditionally kind of adopt open source materials. But I found with new technology, ChatGPT, there was kind of a window for me to write a book for a low price and get it out to the students quickly. So I'm releasing it chapter by chapter, and the students love it so far.
That's really fascinating. So how do you, I'm very curious about how you use ChatGPT 3.
Sure.
So are you, do you have it sort of in a window off to the left and you sort of prompt it with content and then, I don't like that one very much, try again, and then paste it over into your manuscript when you've found something you like?
Yeah, and this is where the technology is evolving, and I know that you all have a ChatGPT integration. I use a commercial platform that I pay for, and so there's a little bit of a difference there. I was excited when I saw your all's plugin, but I know ChatGPT. It just felt better from a copyright standpoint if I paid for a service. So that's the route that I went. But how I do it is, of course, I am, I guess, a so-called expert in personal finance, and so I know what a good textbook would look like. And I'm prompting it with specific things and seeing that it's not repetitive, that it is accurate in its content, and that it's useful for students. And so most of the time I'm prompting it with maybe one or two sentences. It's filling in the rest of the paragraph, but the outline and the content and the flow of the book really falls on me. So I like it because it scales my effort. Now, it doesn't take all the effort out, and it's not writing the entire book by itself. It would be a pretty bad textbook if I did that. But by prompting it and making sure that it flows correctly and outlining properly, it's actually turned out to be a decent book. I think I'm 3 or 4 chapters in at this point, and I think it's got great content.
One super interesting thing about what you're doing is, you're sort of you're a teacher at a university, and you're writing this book, which is largely being read by students, but you're also writing it in progress and asking for feedback, typos and things like that, which is a super interesting thing. Like in the normal sort of Leanpub author in progress publishing world, it's not their students or students at their institution that are giving them feedback. What's that experience been like so far?
Yeah, well, and I used to teach entrepreneurship. I actually still do teach entrepreneurship at KU. I'm more in finance now, as you might imagine from the book title. But really, entrepreneurship is all about releasing a minimum viable product and then iterating it over time. And I think textbooks are really prime examples of how that methodology can give us a better, more inclusive textbook, more feedback, more input, and of course, create hopefully a finished product or a V2, V3, V4 product that is better because we get feedback early. And that just, again, Lean Startup 101, I think that can be applied to textbooks.
And just before I let you go, in the interest of maybe giving you the opportunity to teach people a little bit during this launch video, can you please explain the time value of money in like 1 minute?
Yeah, so $1 today is not $1 tomorrow. And there's really a couple of reasons for that. One is because I can take that dollar and I can invest it at an interest rate and make more over time. So my dollar now becomes $1.10 in the future. And so you can continue to compound it in that way. The other piece is because of things like inflation. Inflation, we've had really high inflation right now, and it's really eating at the way value of the value of your dollar. And so if you put $1 in the mattress, you're actually going to lose money over time because inflation is going to eat away at it. Now, of course, it's a little more complex than that, but the whole idea behind time value of money is that $1 today is not $1 tomorrow, and we can make decisions based on that fact.
Thank you very much for that great explanation. And for anyone watching, the book is just as clear, just as direct, and just as informative as the description that Jason just gave here spontaneously. So thank you very much, Jason, for being on our launch video number 5, I think.
Yeah, thanks for having me.